Hello, welcome to another session of engineering mechanics, that is strength of materials for diploma students in Telangana of mechanical stream. So today we would be discussing about resultant of forces and how would we apply the formula for when n number of forces are acting at a point, and how can we find the resultant magnitude of the resultant and direction of the resultant. So today's session would be on resultant of forces. So prior to resultant of forces, let us memorize the previous lecture that I have delivered on laws, law of forces. So various laws we have explained. First one was parallelogram law of forces. So parallelogram law of forces. So what does it state? It states that if two forces are acting simultaneously at a point are represented in magnitude and direction by the two adjacent sides of a parallelogram law, parallelogram, then the line passing through these two passing through this two is nothing but the diagonal that is passing through the two adjacent sides is represented in both magnitude and direction by the resultant of the two forces. Again I am repeating, if two forces acting at a point are represented in magnitude and direction by the two adjacent sides of a parallelogram, then the resultant is represented in both magnitude and direction by the diagonal passing through passing through the point of coincidence. Now, so for that we have found the resultant formula for the resultant, which is nothing but R is equal to C under root of P square plus Q square plus under root of P square plus Q square plus 2P cos alpha. Then we also found the direction for it, that is theta equal to tan inverse of Q cos alpha by P plus Q sin alpha. Next, we also discussed triangle law of forces. If two forces are acting at a point are represented in both magnitude and direction by the two adjacent sides of a triangle, then the resultant is represented by the third side taken in opposite order. So this was triangle law. Next, after that, we have also discussed Polygon's law of forces. So according to Polygon's law of forces, if number of forces are represented by the adjacent sides of a polygon, then the resultant is represented by the closing side of the polygon. Say if 5 forces are there, if 5 forces are representing the sides of a polygon, then the sixth side of a polygon is its resultant taken in opposite direction. Now the sixth side is nothing but an example. If you take an example of hexagon, then 5 sides are the forces and the last closing side is the resultant. So thereafter we also discussed Lami's theorem. So according to Lami's theorem, if three concurrent forces are in equilibrium, are passing through a point, then the ratio of force to that of sine of angle of the opposite two forces is proportional. So it gives the statement that P by sin alpha is equal to Q by sin beta is equal to R by sin gamma, where P, Q, R are the forces and alpha, beta, gamma are the included angles. Alpha is the included angle between Q and R, and beta is the included angle between R and P, and gamma is the angle between P and Q respectively. Yesterday we have also solved various problems related to this Lami's theorem. Now today we will discuss something about the resultant of forces. So in the previous classes, example for the parallelogram law of forces or the Lami's theorem, there were two forces and we have used the parallelogram. There were three forces, we have used the Lami's theorem. Now, if there are n number of forces, now to find out the resultant, what are the various methods that we use? So you can make use of graphical method and also analytical method. So today we are going to discuss about the analytical method. So in this analytical method, so again we'll remember the topic from one of our previous sessions, that is resolution of forces. So what is resolution of forces? It is nothing but splitting of a force into the components without changing its effect. So we have taken, if P is a force, then P cos theta is its horizontal component and P sin theta is its vertical component. So similarly we can resolve the forces into horizontal and vertical components. So in today's class we are going to discuss about equilibrium and resultant, and we'll have few problems to calculate resultant of forces. So first, equilibrium. So what is equilibrium? So simply we can say state of equilibrium. It defines that when the a body is said to be in equilibrium if there it is in a balance. If a body is in balance, it is nothing but equilibrium. It is in balance means there will be two cases. One is it must be at rest, or it must be acted upon by the equal and opposite forces. The forces acting on the left side should be equal to the forces acting from the right side. So then only the body will be in equilibrium. So the body is said to be in static equilibrium if it is at rest. A body is said to be in dynamic equilibrium if, even though the forces acting on it, if all the forces are, a system of forces are acting on it, even then if it is in a balanced condition, then it is said to be in equilibrium. Means nothing but the resultant is 0. So here we have taken a representation that a block is applied by a force 50 newtons on the left side and applied by a force 50 newtons on the right side. So on both the sides the loads are equal. So the body will be in equilibrium state. Say if I am applying on the left side 100 newtons and on the right side 50 newtons. What happens? So since the effect of force is high on the left side, the body will tend to move towards the right side. See here your if it is a push one, then so here you can see the arrow. So it is away from the body. So the body will be pushed towards the left side. So if it is a dragging type of one, pulling one, the body will be moved towards the right side. So depending upon the nature of the force, the body will move. So wherever the effect of force is higher, then the body will move. But in case of equilibrium condition, on both the sides, the forces will remain equal. Next, equilibriant. So equilibriant is nothing but the single force which will bring the entire system into equilibrium condition. That is nothing but equilibriant. So the equilibriant is nothing but a force which brings equilibrium to the system. So you can see here in this diagram, two loads are acting. One is 30 newtons and the other is 15 newtons. Say only these two loads are acting. Then what happens? This body will be moving towards the right side. Now I want to bring this body into a equilibrium condition. Now what we need to do? That so first we'll add on the right side how many forces are there. That is two forces, that is 30 and 50. 30 plus 50, it gives us 80 newtons. So 80 newtons, if I am applying on the left side, then the body will be in equilibrium condition. It means it will be at a stable condition. It is not at rest. It is in a stable condition. Even though forces are acting, but it will not move. So 80 is the equilibrium in this situation. Next, so now let us have some difference between resultant and equilibrium. So the resultant and equilibrium both will have the same magnitude. Means the quantity is the same everywhere. So in the previous case, if you take, so this is a collinear force. According to collinear force, the resultant is nothing but R is equal to P plus Q, because both are having the same direction. So 30 plus 50, 80. The resultant is also 80. Equilibrium is also 80. But what differs here? Only the difference is they both act in opposite direction. Okay. We are always discussing that resultant is taken in opposite order. Resultant taken in opposite order. So actually, the resultant will be taken in the opposite order. It will be never taken in a closing order, whereas equilibrium will be taken in the same order. So if these are in collinear, then they will act along the same line. If they are not collinear, they are concurrent. Sorry, these are always collinear. They will act in the same line. But they will be in the opposite direction. For example, we can see there are 40 newtons and 30 newtons of forces acting. Now to find the resultant of this, we can make use of a parallelogram law of forces. R is equal to under root of P square plus Q square plus 2PQ cos alpha. So resultant R is equal to under root of 40 square plus 30 square plus 2 into 40 into 30 into cos 90 degrees. So that will give you 50 newtons. So 50 newtons. Then after, if you find the angle made by the resultant with the horizontal theta, that equal to Q cos alpha by P plus Q sin alpha. If you take that, you'll get 45 degrees. So now I can draw that with that purple line. Okay, the angle made is 45 degrees or something, and we'll draw that 15 newtons of resultant. But in case of equilibrium, this equilibrium has to always act away from those forces in order to maintain it in a equilibrium position. So the resultant, nothing but the effect of those two forces are moving the body in a upward direction in the quadrant 1. So the equilibrium has to move the body in the downward direction. Exactly opposite to that quadrant is nothing but our third quadrant. So we have denoted it with a blue line. So everything, the magnitude is same. Both equilibrium and resultant are collinear, but they act in opposite direction. Next, we have few conditions for equilibrium. The body which is subjected to coplanar forces will be in equilibrium under the following conditions. First one, the algebraic sum of horizontal components of all the forces must be equal to 0. It means, so already we have discussed in the resolution of forces that a force can be split into two components. This horizontal component and vertical component. Now, horizontal component is nothing but F cos theta. Vertical component is F sin theta. Now, say if I am considering two forces or three forces, F1, F2 and F3. According to this law, F1 cos theta 1 plus F2 cos theta 2 plus F3 cos theta 3 should be is equal to 0. The sum of the horizontal components of all the forces must be equal to 0. So this is the first condition. Next, the second condition would be the algebraic sum of the vertical components of all the forces must be equal to 0. So similarly, F1 sin theta 1 plus F2 sin theta 2 plus F3 sin theta 3 should be is equal to 0 if you are considering 3 forces. If you are considering n forces, so as like that plus n Fn sin theta n should be equal to 0. Summation of all the vertical components will be is equal to 0. Next, third condition would be on the moments. So the algebraic sum of all the moments of forces must be equal to 0. So it means that moment of force is nothing but force into perpendicular distance from the point of application of the force to the body. So if I take, so example, best example for moment of force is opening of a door, closing of a door. Now we are using certain force and along the perpendicular direction. So that force into this distance is nothing but moment. So sum of the algebraic moment of all the forces must be also equal to 0. So first one is sum of all algebraic sum of all the horizontal components should be equal to 0. Next, algebraic sum of all the vertical components should be equal to 0. And the third one is the algebraic sum of all the moments must be equal to 0. So this is one. So if you are taking two forces P and Q. Now for P, the horizontal component, let me denote by PH, that is nothing but P cos theta. Let PV be the vertical component, it is nothing but P sin theta. Similarly, Q cos theta and Q sin theta. Nothing but Q cos theta is Q horizontal component, Q sin theta is the vertical component. So in this, the PH plus QH should be equal to 0. Again, PV plus QV should be equal to 0. Yes. So let us discuss a few problems on this equilibrium of forces. Now, Find the magnitude and direction of the single force that brings the following system of concurrent forces into equilibrium. So the first force is a force of 20 newtons acting due east. Second force is a force of 25 newtons acting 40 degrees north of east. A force of 10 newtons acting 50 degrees west of north. A force of 30 newtons acting vertically downwards. So when we come across this such type of diagrams, first such type of problems, we first need to draw the diagram which is representing all these data correctly. So if you are going to draw the diagram perfectly, then no matter the solution will be very easy. So let us first discuss the diagram. Now as we know, there are four directions for us. So east, west, north and south. So above east we call the region between north and east is nothing but northeast region. The region between north and west is northwestern region. The region between west and south is southwestern region. Next, the region between southeast is nothing but southeastern region. Now, if in the problem, if it is given that towards east, if it is given directly east, then you have to draw the force on east, E, on the arrow mark that is shown, E. So if you are drawing on the E, it means that the angle made by that force is simply 0, as our reference line is nothing but the horizontal line it itself. Now if the force is given that the force is acting along north, then you have to draw the line on the north only N. So the angle made by this is 90 degrees with the horizontal. So your theta will be 90 degrees if the force is acting on the north. Next, if the force is given that the force is acting along west. So if it is west, then you have to draw on the west horizontal left side. So at the negative x-axis, you have to draw the force. Now the angle made by this is 180 degrees. As you know, angle made by a line is 180 degrees. Now your theta will be 180 degrees. Now the next one, if it is given that the force is acting on the south, then you have to draw that your force should be downwards, negative y axis. Now the theta will be 270 degrees. So you are measuring from that reference line which is on east. From there, if you take till the south, it is 270 degrees. So next, now if anything given like on northeast, force acting on northeast, or if it is given northeast, then you have to draw exactly at a 45 degrees between north and east. It means your angle theta is 45 degrees. Now if they give the force acting on northwest, so your line is exactly in between north and west, and it makes an angle of 45 from west side, or 90 plus 45, that is 135 from east. So let us measure from east. From east, if it is given that northwestern, then the angle made from east from reference line is 135, and it will be exactly the equal divider between west and north. Next, if the force is given as southwestern, then the the force is acting exactly at an angle of 45 below the west, means it is in between west and south equally. Now your theta will be, so you have to measure from east itself. From east if you take, so east to west it is 180 plus this is 45. 180 plus 45 is 225 degrees. So it is 225 degrees. Your theta will be 225 degrees. Next, so you can also measure from this side, this way also, but plus and minus you will be confused. Next, so the given southeast, force acting southeast, then you have to take exactly 45 degrees in between east and south part. Now your theta will be, so complete 365 minus 45. 360 minus 45. It is nothing but 315 degrees. So your theta will be 315 degrees. Okay. So you have to draw the force and you have to calculate the angle from the reference point. Next, so sometimes they will be given like an angle of 10 degrees north of east. North of east means from east you have to, from east you have to take 10 degrees and draw. Okay. North of east means you have to take from east 10 degrees. Now south of east means, so again from east only you have to take 10 degrees but downwards towards south side. You have to draw from east to south. Okay. North of east means from east to north, means north of east, means north of east side. Okay. So if they give north to east, so north to east means you have to draw from north to east, so you have to draw on the reference line north. Okay. So let us take first off. Okay. North of east means, so from the east you have to take towards north side. Okay. 10 degrees on east. So if they give 10 degrees north of east, means you have to take a reference line east, and on the east you have to take with help of a protractor 10 degrees and draw the line. Now they will give south of east. So again downwards you have to draw now 10 degrees on the east downwards like that. Next, if they give east of north, and you have to take reference line north, and on the north you just make a point of 10 degrees and draw a line. Okay, draw an angle. Now next, north of west means again north is the only reference line. From there towards the west side you have to draw the angle. Okay. So anything you have to measure from the north only if they give off. Next, we'll go for west. So for west, north of west means we have to take west as the reference, and above the west you have to draw 10 degrees on the west if they give. So if they give 10 degrees on the west, so here you will put the protractor. Now 10 degrees from here if you measure, it will be somewhere here point. So you will touch the point and you will draw from this center. You will go like this. Okay. From here you will draw like this. So that is north of west. Similarly south of west if they ask. So from this reference line only you will measure from west 10 degrees. So it will be somewhere here. Again from there you will draw this line. South of west. Next, south. Now if I want south, from south, west of south I want to draw. So west of south 10 degrees. So this one I will put on the reference line, and from here towards this side I will measure the line and I'll give the angle. From south, I'll measure 10 and I'll go there. Okay. Next, east of south. So from on south reference, I'll take towards the east side. So this along this side 10 degrees it's here. So I'll put this as the reference line, and from here 10 degrees I'll match somewhere here. Then I'll draw the line, and that is my force. So for off, you'll see if from there you'll take reference towards north or south. If it is north to east, means north నుంచి east వైపు తీసుకోవాలి. Okay. So north to east 10 degrees they say. From north to east. So I'll put this as our reference, the vertical line as our reference, and from here I'll say 30 degrees say, then I'll draw this. I'll take my reference as north. Similarly, south to east, then from south I'll take reference, and towards east side I'll draw. Again, if I say west to east, then west is my reference, and from west towards east I'll draw. Again, west to north, then west would be my reference, and from west I'll draw towards the north side. So understand the difference between to and off. To and off, and accordingly you have to draw the diagram. So clearly we have seen a force of 20 newtons acting due east. So due east means your force has to come on the east line, on this line only. It is 20 degrees. Okay. Next, the second one was a force of 25 acting 40 degrees north of east. So north of east means this is north and this is east. North of east, you have to take east as the reference line, and east as the reference line, and from here it is 40 degrees. So from here we have taken 40 degrees line. So this is 40 degrees line, and it is 25 newtons. Next, a third force is given, that is a force of 10 newtons acting 50 degrees west of north. So west of north, so this is north and this is west. So west of north means from north you have to see west of north. So this is our reference line. From here the force is 10 newtons and the angle is 50 degrees. Next, one more force is there, that is 30 newtons acting vertically downwards. So vertically down, where does it act? It acts at the south. So at the south it is 30 newtons. So in this manner we'll represent our forces. The first force is F, that is 20 newtons acting on the east, and 25 newtons acting at 40 degrees north of east, and 10 newtons acting 50 degrees west of north. Next, 30 newtons acting downwards. Now we got 4 forces, so let it be F1, F2 and F3. Now theta. Now if you take for the first one, it is on the horizontal line. So there is, the angle is 0. So first theta 1 is 0. Okay. Next, theta 2 is, if you are measuring from this point, it is 40 degrees. Okay, 40 degrees. Next, for the third one, it will be like, so for third one, it will be like theta 3 should be 90 plus 50. Actually, 90 plus 50, it will be 150. 40. But according to our sine rules and cosine rules, you can take simply cos theta is equal to cos 180 minus theta, like that we'll take something. So your third angle should be 50 plus 90, that is 140. Next, the fourth angle is here, it is, so it is actually 270. Okay, so the first angle is 0, second one is 40, third one is 140, fourth one is 270. So let us go first with those angles. So first one, see, horizontal f, so horizontal components will be f1 cos theta 1. So your f1 is 20 newtons plus cos theta 1 is cos 0. So cos 0 is 1, so we have denoted as 20. Okay, 20 into 1 is 20. Next, f2 cos theta 2. So 25 plus cos theta 2 is 40. Next, plus f3 cos theta 3. So you can write as plus 10 cos of 90 plus 50, that is 140. But from the left hand side if you take, so this is positive, this is negative. So you can write like this also, minus of 10 cos 40 also you can write. So in order to get rid of confusion, you can simply take from the reference line itself. So plus 10 cos 140, it gives the same. Okay, cos of 180 minus theta is minus cos theta. Using that formula we can take minus 10 cos 40, or else simply plus 10 cos 140. So the entire this summation of all this will give you 31.49 newtons. Next, similarly we have to resolve into vertical. So we forgot one more thing, that is plus 30 cos 270. 30 cos 270 is, cos of 270 is simply 0. So 0 into something is 0. So we are not having the fourth one here. Next, resolving the forces vertically. Now if I am taking the vertically, it means nothing but f sin theta terms. So first one is 20 sin 0 is 0. Next, 25 sin 40. So 25 sin 40. Next, this one plus 10 sin 40, or you can also write plus 10 sin 140, gives the same value. Next, this one you can write plus 30 sin 270. So sin 270 is nothing but sin 270 plus theta is minus sin theta. So it will, you will get minus 30. Sin 270 is minus 1. Okay. So minus 30 you will get. So that is equal to minus 7.5 newtons. Now the next resultant. So resultant can be found by using the formula R equal to under root horizontal components square plus vertical components square. So horizontal summation we have got 31.49 square plus 7.5 square minus of 7.5 square. So you will get the value 32.37 newtons. So the magnitude is 32.37, whereas now you need to find direction also. So direction equal to tan inverse of sigma h by sigma v. So tan inverse of 7.5 by 31.49. So it will give 13 degrees 23 seconds. So 13 degrees 23 seconds means, so it is a negative one. So minus the vertical term is negative. It means that the vertical thing is negative, means, so in the Q4 in fourth quadrant, so as per four quadrants, in first quadrant everything is positive. In the second quadrant signs are positive. In the third quadrant, tans are positive. In the fourth quadrant, cos are positive. So upper quadrant on the first quadrant, plus, both will be, if you take x and y, plus plus. Next on the left side it will be x axis is minus and y term is plus. And in the third quadrant both are minus. On the fourth term the y term is negative and the x term is positive. So here both will be positive. Here x is negative and y is positive. Here x is negative and y is negative. Here x is positive and y is negative, because y is downwards, it indicates negative. So x is right side, it will indicate positive. So in this, if you see, the x term is positive and y is negative, it means plus and minus. So your resultant will be present in the fourth quadrant. Now in this fourth quadrant, at what angle it is there? So we have got theta 13 degrees 23 seconds. So from here, from x axis you will measure 13.23 and you will draw the resultant. Now, so as you know, the equilibriant will be acting opposite to the resultant to bring that entire body in the equilibrium condition. So now in the question it is asked not the resultant but the equilibrium. So you can simply write that the magnitude of that single force which brings into equilibrium is 32.37 newtons, and it is acting at an angle of 13.23 north of west. It means from the west it should act towards the north side. So this is a equilibrium. Next, one more problem. In this we will discuss not the equilibrium but the resultant and the magnitude of a force system. So in this, if you see, there are four forces acting. First one is 30 newtons, which is acting at an angle of 45 degrees from the east, and 20 newtons, which is acting from east of north. Okay. Next, 60 degrees, it is acting from in the region east of south. Okay. Next, 30 degrees acting from east to south. Okay. So there are four forces acting. Now, so as we know that we have to resolve these forces first. So let us take resolving the forces horizontally. So first force, this is 30 newtons. So 30 cos 45. You can write plus 20 cos 90. So from here I am measuring 90 plus 80, that is 170, or minus 20 into, from this side if you take minus 20 into cos 10, like that also you can measure. Next, plus 60. So this is 60 into cos of 180 plus 60, that is 240, or minus 60 into cos of, from here if I take minus 60 into cos of 60 also you can take. So it is better you take from this right hand side, it is more simpler. So 60 cos 180 plus 60. Next, the last force is 40. So 40 cos, this complete is 330. 40 cos 330 is nothing but 40 cos 30 degrees. So you will get the value 6.15 newtons. Next, similarly, resolving into vertical. So first 30 sine 45, 30 sine 45 plus 20 sine 90 plus 80. 90 plus 80 is nothing but 20 plus 20 sine 170, or minus 20 sine 10 also you can write. If you take from the left side, you have to consider as negative. It is reverse. Next, third one is 60 newtons. So in this we have to take plus 60 sine 180 plus 60, 240, or minus 60, 60 also you can take. You can take plus 60 sine 240 or minus like that. Next, plus 40, this one, plus 40 sine 330 or plus 40 sine 30, because we know that all silver tea cups, only cos is negative here, sign terms will be positive. So that's why we are not getting minus here. Okay? On calculating everything, we'll get minus 47.273. See in this, the first term. So here H is positive and V is negative, means plus minus. So X is plus and Y is minus. So this is plus plus, this is minus plus, this is minus minus, this is plus minus. So let us see where it is then. Now magnitude of the resultant is under root of H square plus V square. 47.676 you get. So now the resultant, if you take theta equal to under root of tan inverse of sigma v by sigma h, you can locate in this region only, because this is denoting that it will be presenting in the fourth quadrant. The negative and positive signs, they itself denote us where your resultant is going to be. Need not need not to calculate the entire problem to know the quadrant. So that is all for today. So we have discussed equilibrium, equilibriant, resultant today. So equilibrium. So equilibrium is nothing but the body is said to be in equilibrium if the if a system of forces are acting on a body, even then if the body is in balance situation, then it is said to be in equilibrium. It is nothing but the resultant is 0. Next, equilibrium. The single force which brings a body into equilibrium condition is nothing but equilibrium. Next, conditions for equilibrium. So we have explained various conditions for equilibrium. The first one is the sum of the horizontal components should be equal to 0. Next, second condition is the sum of vertical components should be equal to 0. Next, the final condition is that the moment of forces, summation of all the moment of forces also should be equal to 0. So these are the three compulsory conditions that to be satisfied to check whether the body is in a equilibrium or not. Next, we have found resultants and equilibriants by using the resolution of forces. So in this, first we have represented the diagram. First, the east side, north side, and the west side and south side. Again, we have denoted northeast region, southeast region, sorry, northeast region, northwest region, and southwest region and southeast region. Then after we have discussed north to east to north and east of north. Next, north to east, north of east. Okay. Next, north to west and north of west. Again, north of west and north to west. Again, west to south or west of south. Again, south to west or south to east. Again, south of west. Again, south of east. Again, east, south of east also. So likewise we have differentiated as of in between of and to. Okay. So by using this representation, we have denoted the forces which were given in the problem, and we have considered the included angles made by each force. After that, we have applied the conditions for equilibrium. First one, that is, sum of all the horizontal forces must be equal to 0. That is F1 cos theta 1 plus F2 cos theta 2 plus F3 cos theta 3 plus and so on should be equal to 0. Thereafter, we have taken the sum of the vertical components equal to 0. That is F1 sin theta 1 plus F2 sin theta 2 plus F3 sin theta 3 plus and so on should be equal to 0. Thereafter, we use the formula R is equal to under root of h square plus under root of v square. Nothing but under root of summation of horizontal component square plus under root of plus summation of vertical component square. From there we found resultant, and by seeing the positive and negative signs of this horizontal and vertical components itself, we could denote the resultant location in which quadrant it is present. Thereafter, we have calculated theta, the angle made by the resultant. Theta equal to simply tan inverse of sigma v by sigma h. So with that, we can find a resultant, and exactly opposite to that, it should be equilibrium. So equilibrium is collinear with the resultant, but it is in opposite direction. So this was discussed as per today. So tomorrow we'll discuss something about moments and couples, and we'll try some more problems. So thank you.